I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. I inspire people to push. That wasn't a rookie talking. That was a franchise quarterback announcing his arrival. And inside the building, people freaked out. Coaches rewatched his comments. Veteran players whispered. Executives circled back for emergency meetings. And before sunrise, a QB shakeup plan had leaked. One that gives Shedeur more control, more freedom, and more power than any rookie should have this early. This isn't a rumor. This isn't hype. This is the moment Cleveland's future changed forever. Inside the Browns facility, the air felt heavy, like everyone knew something was off, but nobody was ready to say it out loud. The loss to Tennessee wasn't just another bad game. It exposed cracks the front office had been pretending weren't there. And at the center of all of it, whether anyone wanted to admit it or not, was Shedeur Sanders. Not because he played poorly, but because of the way he responded. When reporters asked him what went through his mind after Cleveland took him off the field on the potential game-tying drive, he didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't hide behind excuses. He said exactly what the coaching staff did not expect a rookie to admit publicly. We practiced something, and we executed it in practice. But it didn't work today. We called something that didn't work in practice. Those words hit the front office hard. Shedeur wasn't calling anyone out. He wasn't pointing fingers. He was simply telling the truth. And sometimes the truth is the one thing NFL teams hate the most. Inside the building, Jimmy Haslam and members of the personnel department replayed that clip again and again. Stefanski had insisted the two-point play was the plan all week. But Shedeur saying straight up that the play hadn't worked once in. Practice raised eyebrows everywhere, from ownership to coordinators to position coaches. Then came the moment that changed. The tone of the week entirely. A reporter asked Shedeur, "Did you wish you had the ball in your hand on that play?" He looked straight ahead and said, "Something broke inside the Browns building after that Titans game. And it wasn't the scoreboard, the locker room, or the two-point play everyone keeps debating. It was the power structure, at 6:10 a.m. Before coaches even arrived, the Browns front office received a report that sent the entire organization into a quiet, controlled panic. Shedeur Sanders is taking over the offense, and the locker room is following him. Not rumors, not fan speculation, not media hype, real internal notes, real conversations, real reactions. And it all started with one press conference moment the cameras did catch, when Shedeur looked straight ahead and said, "Of course. Any play, I would always want the ball in my hand. But that's not what football is. No attitude, no drama, just honesty." But inside the franchise, the reaction wasn't calm at all. Some front office figures defended him, saying he showed leadership and accountability. Others whispered that the rookie was being too transparent, giving the media ammo during a fragile moment in the season. Then came the line that really shook people. "Nothing on the field is a surprise to me. We practice for every situation." Some took that as confidence. Others took it as a direct contradiction of the coaching staff's explanation. Even worse, privately, multiple players had already admitted that the play was never clean in practice. So when Shedeur confirmed it publicly, a storm began forming inside the Browns organization. But the biggest moment, the one that actually caused panic, came after his interception. Instead of collapsing mentally or panicking the way other rookies have, Shedeur described how he reset. "The game is mental. God help me stay mentally clear." Those inside the front office expected a rookie battling adversity to be rattled. Instead, he sounded like someone Shedeur wasn't unraveling. Was the coaching staff the real problem? When he was asked about overcoming setbacks, losing replayed over and over, "I've been this way. This is God showing people who I am." He wasn't shaken. Telling him correctly? Is this coaching staff aligned with his development? Are we wasting his early starts? That when they re-watched the final moments of the game, the run-in touchdown, the touchdown throw to Jerry Jeudy, the late-game poise, and realized the rookie was evolving faster than the system built around him. Chapter 2 gets into the moment where ownership confronted Stefanski behind closed doors, something no one in Cleveland expected to happen this early. The moment the locker room cleared after the loss, the tension inside the Browns facility didn't fade, it intensified. The building was quiet, but everyone could feel the storm brewing. More unnerving. When Haslam gets truly angry, he gets calm. And after hearing Shedeur Sanders' post-game comments, he was very calm. Stefanski knew it, too. The head coach walked into the meeting room with the look of a man who didn't need a reporter to tell him what was coming. He'd heard the clip. He'd seen the headlines. He knew Shedeur's honesty had ignited something inside the front office. The first replay shown in the room was Shedeur being asked about the two-point play. "We practiced something. We executed it in practice. We just didn't seem to today." Stefanski rubbed his forehead. Haslam didn't react. Paul de Podesta leaned forward. Andrew Barry kept his eyes locked on the screen. Then the reporter pressed, "Did it work in practice?" Shedeur's answer was the fuse that lit everything. "No. We called it in the game, and it didn't work in practice." Haslam paused the clip. That silence was louder than any explosion. Stefanski tried to step in. "Look, Jimmy, context matters. He's emotional. He's young. Haslam didn't raise his voice. "Kevin, why is my rookie quarterback out there telling the media we ran a play that failed all week?" Stefanski didn't respond. Barry finally spoke. "We can't put him in situations that aren't replicated cleanly in practice. If he says it didn't work, players hear that too." Haslam replayed the next moment. The fumble on the first two-point try. Shedeur took full accountability. "That was on me. I didn't get a grasp. That's on me." Then came the dagger, the part that changed the tone of the whole meeting. "Nothing we do out there is a surprise to me. We practice for situations. If something isn't going to be successful, we wouldn't intentionally call it." That line made Stefanski shift in his seat, because what Shedeur said, calmly, humbly, directly contradicted the coach's narrative about the two-point play being the plan all week. "The surprise to me. Any play we go into a game with, we expect success. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen." This time Haslam didn't pause the video. He let it run into the next moment. Shedeur explaining how he reset mentally after the interception. "God help me stay mentally clear. When there's adversity or confusion, that's when he steps in." The front office wasn't shaken by the religious part. They were stunned by something else. He never cracked. Not once. Most rookies spiral after a mistake. But Shedeur? He recalibrated. He steadied himself. Then he delivered a rushing touchdown and a TD pass to Judy, the same teammate he had conflict with the week prior. Barry pointed to that moment. "He's stabilizing us, Kevin, not the other way around." Stefanski stiffened. "That's not fair. He's a young QB. We're coaching him the right way." Haslam finally leaned back in his chair. "Kevin, if my rookie quarterback is showing more composure than my entire coaching staff, we have a problem." Silence again. Then Haslam brought up the center injury and the offensive line chaos. Shedeur didn't mention blame once. He didn't even reference protection issues. Instead, he said, "I've been this way. This is God showing people who I am. You don't know if you'll get in that place, but you keep pushing." Stefanski didn't know how to respond. Players love accountability. The front office loves stability. And Shedeur was giving both, while hinting, without ever attacking anyone, that the support around him wasn't aligned. Haslam turned the screen off. "Kevin, if the kid can publicly forgive his teammates, reset himself, own mistakes, uplift the locker room, and move past drama, why can't our coaching be as steady?" Stefanski swallowed. Haslam wasn't done. "We drafted a franchise quarterback. What I'm seeing is that he's growing faster than our operation. And that's not on him. That's on us." Barry added quietly. Even Jerry Jeudy said after the game that they put everything aside and trusted each other. The locker room is following Shedeur's energy. Haslam folded his arms. "Then we better catch up. This wasn't a firing meeting. This wasn't a warning. This was a shift." Shedeur hadn't created a meltdown. He'd exposed one dot, and for the first time all season, the Browns front office wasn't questioning their rookie quarterback. They were questioning everything around him. Chapter 3 reveals how the locker room reacted, and what changed the front office leaked internally that caused the word "shake up" to spread across the building. From a reporter snooping around the locker room, it came from inside the team. Someone who saw the closed-door meeting. Someone who saw how the front office reacted to Shedeur's comments. Someone who realized that the Browns were about to pivot harder than anyone expected, and by 6:10 a.m., players woke up to texts. Front office pushing for a QB shift. Coaches shaking. Haslam not happy. Shedeur about to get more control of offense. Nobody knew the full story, but everyone felt the same thing. The rookie had just changed the power structure inside the building. The locker room reaction, shock, respect, and realignment when players arrived. They weren't talking about the loss. They weren't talking about the two-point call. They weren't even talking about the interception. They were talking about one clip, the one where Shedeur said, "This week we improved sideline communication, keeping everybody chill, checking everybody's temperature." Veteran players listened to that and nodded because they knew it was true. Last week, chaos. This week, different energy. Shedeur wasn't pointing fingers. He was managing personalities. He was doing the job of a leader. And not every player liked hearing that their quarterback was fixing things the coaches usually heard the noise too. Just 7 days earlier, he and Shedeur had a sideline blow-up. Now, players were praising the TD throw that reunited them, and Judy's reaction surprised everybody. Man stood tall, didn't hide, didn't duck, and still threw me the biggest pass of the game. That's my quarterback. That quote spread through the locker room fast, and players started seeing something new. Shedeur wasn't seeking control. Control was naturally moving toward him. Inside the coaching wing. Stefanski under pressure by mid-morning. Stefanski got word about the leak. He wasn't angry. He was unsettled. Not because of Shedeur. Because of how the front office was reacting to him. Haslam wasn't emotional. Berea wasn't frustrated. DePodesta wasn't confused. I don't know. They were aligned. And whenever the front office becomes aligned on something, coaching staffs feel the shift first. Stefanski replayed Shedeur's press conference again, especially the moment where he was asked if he feels more in command. "I'm comfortable being uncomfortable." That inspires people to stay on course. Those words weren't normal rookie answers. They were foundation-level leadership language. Players hear that, and they attach to it fast. Stefanski knew what that meant. If the offense stalls, if players keep gravitating toward Shedeur, if the front office wants him as the long-term face, the coaching staff becomes replaceable. And the rumor swirling that morning, the one the leak started, made that even clearer. Haslam wanted the offense centered around Shedeur now, not next year, even formed. What the leak actually said, the QB shakeup. The leak was partially wrong. Shedeur wasn't getting benched. He wasn't losing snaps. He wasn't being demoted. The shakeup was the opposite. The front office wanted Shedeur to have more input. On the play sheet, have more control over tempo. Decisions, have more flexibility on. Adjustments at the line, run fewer plays that failed all week in practice, have a voice in weekly game planning sessions to veterans. That meant one thing. A rookie was being treated like a franchise quarterback. In week 3, coaches don't love that. Front offices push it when they see something special, and players support it when they trust their QB. Afternoon. Word spread through the team. Shedeur getting Rodgers level freedom. Haslam wants him to run the offense his way. Coaches didn't choose this. Ownership did. That's when things changed. Receivers started meeting with him early. Running backs started asking what looks he preferred. Offensive linemen started asking what rhythm he wanted. Even defensive players came up to him and said, "Do your thing, bro." Whole building watching. It wasn't hype. It wasn't pity. It wasn't pressure. It was trust. Trust he earned through accountability. Trust he earned through honesty. Trust he earned through the TD throws, the rushing score, the post-pick composure. Trust he earned through telling the world, "I've been this way. This is God showing people who I am." The front office's final warning to the staff. At the end of the day, Haslam sent one message through Berea to the coaching staff. "We drafted a leader. Treat him like one." Wasn't about survival. Wasn't about balancing egos. It was about building the team around Shedeur Sanders. Not next year. Not someday. Now. And that's why the building went into panic. Because when a rookie becomes the center of gravity, everybody else gets pulled with him, whether they're ready or not.